All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting. Had to prep the players because this is going to be an explosive match. So appropriate for the last match, last set of the LPL Summer regular season Froskurinn, the rivalry of Edward Gaming versus World Elite. I cannot wait.
You said it yourself, the phrase or the motif going in is going to be grudge match. Of course, these teams have a long-standing animosity, not so much between the players anymore, but definitely in the heat of the fans. World Elite, of course, the #1 popular team in China. You want to say TSM, this is TSM times 1,000.
Oh yeah, they are incredibly well known. I mean, you talked about, like, a while back at All-Stars, the voting for, like, getting people to go. The number of votes amassed by the World Elite players was, I think, like, surpassing any combination of other players in other regions. It was just insane. And these lineups have been quite interesting. A lot on the line going forward into this, too, because as we look at it right now in the standings, you, of course, can see that this means a lot for both teams. Edward Gaming, currently sitting in 3rd place at 21 points, have a chance, because OMG hasn't gotten any additional points from this evening, with their 0-2 loss against Young Glory. They could jump up into 1st place alone and would finish the split out that way. However, if they do lose, it gives World Elite a chance to move into, well, that exact same spot. They could tie Edward Gaming for 3rd place and ensure their playoff spot. But if they don't win a single game, if they don't manage to take one off of EDG, LGD still in the running. It'll force the tiebreaker runoff.
Effectively, it comes down to that World Elite may be China's favorite team, but right now, EDG is LGD's favorite team. If EDG 2-0s, like you said, they have a chance. They will go to the tiebreaker match to see who continues forward to the playoffs. From the playoffs, depending how those match out, it will say what teams get invited to the World Qualifier. So the run is still on and very much important to this match of World Elite or LGD having a chance at that world spot.
Oh, yeah. And they very badly want it. They definitely had some struggles with the roster swaps they pulled at the beginning in a minute, because right now it is, of course, going to be Edward Gaming bringing up that top lane. It's Cora 1, everybody's favorite supporting style.
Recently, though, has really started to shift and kind of evolve into more of a carry-oriented top laner.
That's
like
true.
We've seen from Going, has pulled out the Ryze, pulled out the Aurelia. In the jungle, it's going to be Clearlove. Again, Clearlove jungling under the Messiah. Of course, the crowd going wild because he was one of the former World Elite members. Found success on Jarvan most recently. That Lee Sin and Evelyn, unfortunately, did not pan out for him, although Eve, pretty much a comfort champion, but unfortunately, Clearlove not known for his early lane pressure. He's not a ganking jungler, he's a team fight jungler.
No, and there's the man that has not necessarily needed him as he's been able to step up recently. It is, of course, you, Unstoppable, as his friends call him. He likes himself a good number of champs. They used to put him on Ziggs all the time, but he's been playing a lot of Assassins lately. Big cast and pickup resulting in some huge plays for them. See if they can, you know, carry the game on the back of him.
Speaking of carrying the game, it's going to be Name in the AD carry position. Name has a big reputation, a lot of hype. Unfortunately, EDG, both these teams actually have kind of been in a rut and on the down and down. You talk about, you know, you looking towards the Assassin players had that Kassadin. That was a 15-minute zero-roam Kassadin game where they pretty much got shut down. See if maybe things will turn around, if they're going to go back to their old previous ways. And again, World Elite former member, FCZF.
He's half asleep right now. That's, yeah, FCZF is a very, very strong support. He's also the primary shot caller for the team. Directs a lot of the action in that bot lane.
I'm also very jealous of his keyboard, but you are right. Secondary shot caller is going to be Clearlove in the jungle. And Clearlove, the highest kill participation of any player in the LPL.
Ah, yeah.
So if he's not on point,
yeah,
it's 77.
I mean, that's insane. And this is for a guy who doesn't gank.
It says something about EDG. Their opponents, of course, are going to be World
Elite. Anyway,
I wanted to say World Elite Academy, and as my brain, I was like, no, it's not Academy. That's Wei Xiao.
Yeah, this is the real deal. These guys are here and they mean business. They need to take some wins to ensure their spots in the playoffs for the LPL Summer. Can they do it, or will they force the runoff against LGD? Of course, we are going to get into it right here and right now. It's going to be Conan in support in that bot lane.
I wonder if she proposed to him with her sign.
He looks like he's not revealing any of that right now. We'll find out later.
Yeah, for such.
He's already married to Wei Xiao.
Oh, that's very true. Actually, his husband in the bot lane is going to be the godfather of AD carries. Wei Xiao there found a lot of success. Yep, on that Tristana.
Oh yeah.
Should look to do for the hyper carries.
Anything with the hyper carry, and especially if you can build a Trinity Force. Well, not necessarily needed on Tristana, but they've got
Triskog Corki.
Yes, but here's the thing about this patch. This is where Tristana gets some of those minor nerfs. See if he handles that or goes over to something different. In the mid lane, of course, it is going to be Ninja. Everybody loves Ninja. They call him Rabbit, actually, and send him little plushies.
They sent him a lot of little plushies.
Like they filled up the house, right?
Exactly. Pulled out the AP Kog'Maw. Typically had a very specific formula of playing utility-based mages. Has started to break out of that box on the back half of the split. Joining him in his Korean heritage is going to be Axine or Sin in the jungler.
Yep. They kind of picked him up in pairs. That was sort of the meaning of all of that. And Axine, coming over after a long stint on a number of Korean teams, has definitely made some plays, but he hasn't stepped up as much as World Elite might have expected, and I think only recently has it been kind of picking up the pace.
And of course, in the top lane, probably the most popular player in China is going to be Strawberry.
Cao Mei, which translates roughly to the same thing. He's been on the team for a long, long time, since November 2011. Long tenure with World Elite, very, very popular. One of the most humble players, too. This guy apologized for his performance at All-Stars, and yeah, I mean, this guy, you can't not like him.
Very likable guy. Coming into picks and bans, I definitely think that it's hard because I feel like Name favors more so the Kog'Maw. Has seen a lot of Lucian play recently. We'll see if he continues on that trend again. This is 4.13, so Lucian has seen his most recent changes, or if he's going to look for a hyper carry. The play styles of these teams are very... They're very similar in how they slow the game down. World Elite is very much... yeah, it comes with a but. World Elite is very much about waiting for Wei Xiao. He's the primary shot caller of the team. They pretty much slow everything down. Very specific formula to how they win. Wei Xiao gets solo farm. Conan goes roam, utility-based mid. And then Cao Mei and Axine kind of pick up the slack in the other areas until Wei Xiao's ready. EDG... Again, a very kind of slow-paced team. They like to kind of stall out. Again, a lot of big zigs play, wait for that late-game movement. So going to be very curious if this is going to follow kind of the traditional LPL that people know of being like very explosive deathmatch, or if this is going to be a very slow-paced, measured, late-game set.
Well, the bans are clearly not slow-paced. Yeah, historically, Wei Xiao and the rest of World Elite just love to stall out the game until they're like, okay, it's Wei Xiao time, let's go completely crazy. Do you think that this is going to be... I mean, I want to say that the focus of this game will be in the bot lane with the AD carries. These are guys with really, really big chips on their shoulders, a lot to prove. But maybe Wei Xiao goes for the lane swap, I don't know. Oh, whoa, Cassidy was available. And, okay.
Okay, just to quickly go over the bans. Alistair Thresh, Jace. Jace is a target ban at Ninja, found his Penta on Jace. Zillion, Rengar, Kog'Maw. Again, talking about the hyper carries. If the hyper carries are going to go down, although Wei Xiao is picking up that Lucian, it was going to be Kog'Maw for Name, but it looks like this time around he's going to turn to Corki. So countering the, yeah, it's the self-sufficient mobility that is a very high priority in China because it's very much about these long, extended engagements and constantly repositioning yourself, as opposed to an instantaneous 1-2 burst.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the side of World Elite, they go for the Lucian Braum pickup, which, you know, is still fairly strong, but it definitely speaks to me that this is going to be prompting the lane swap. Again, World Elite, they love to protect Wei Xiao until he's ready to go crazy, and they have a late game comp for it. Oh my goodness. Axine gets the Kha'Zix lock in. Ooh, I like this.
FCZF did play Janna last night. Janna has a 100% win rate currently in LPL, only has 2 games played on her though, so this will be the 3rd. That is Udyr if you can't
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with the Chinese splash. Yeah, Janna has been coming back actually. I've been seeing it at all levels in a lot of regions.
This is also the Janna buff patch. Her Tailwind gets a radius increase. Switching over to, ooh, okay, so here's the thing. We were just talking about, okay, yeah, that makes much more sense. Clearlove actually finds a lot of success on Lee Sin, which is interesting because, again, you think he's not necessarily a ganking jungler, and then he goes and he picks a jungler who's primarily all about the ganks. We'll see if this pick kind of forces him out of his comfort zone and forces him to make these early plays that his team needs to, especially against a jungler like Axine, picking up that comfort champion of Kha'Zix. Excuse me, needed some water right there.
Yeah. It's that kind of game. It's very exciting, very fast-paced, and we'll see what the last lock-in for Ninja is going to be. Hovering Xerath right now. This would be
That's a top
one
Kassadin.
of the, yeah, most definitely. Salme, he can play anything, man. That guy will play whatever his team needs.
I was gonna say that made sense. I wouldn't. They normally don't put their hyper carry on Ninja. Again, we talked about how World Elite has a very specific formula to win the game. We've seen him play a lot of Xerath recently. It's like Lulu, Orianna, Xerath. He came out initially with the Twisted Fate, but things like that. Salme, I like to call him kind of like the Dyrus of China, and in the fact that he's a very versatile player. He can play the hyper carries, he can play the tank line, he can play the map pressure game. Of course, has that Kassadin this time around, so makes more sense in the context of kind of his playstyle and champion pool.
Yeah, interesting to see how this bot lane does go down if they do take the 2v2. I still think that World Elite will prompt the lane swap, but I'm interested to see it. I think this is going to be a great game. Anytime these two meet head-to-head on the Rift, it's just going to be crazy.
Very intense matchups. Again, we cannot... The history of these teams, of course, EDG literally tore World Elite in half when it created the team. Contracted out to Clearlove and FCZF, splitting the roster when there was some inner turmoil going on with upper management for World Elite. Had to find the replacements, found them in, right now, of course, Axine was before Ruo and Conan.
Oh, yeah.
Animosity right there.
Big animosity.
And the last time these teams met was actually at IEM Shenzhen, I believe.
Yeah, actually. So this is going to be a
World Elite won.
long-coming thing. Yep. Well, see if they can do it again. They definitely need to get themselves into the playoffs, or at least secure it up. But we will see if they can do that, or if EDG will take themselves an easy slide into first place. And everybody's ready for this. Lights dimmed, action. Let's go. These fans. Oh, Name finds Wei Zhao. That was
Speaking
quick.
of action.
Yeah, these two are the ones to watch. So far no lane swap, but these
and you
guys.
have to understand.
Yeah, you go ahead. And take it away.
Well, Name rose to power. So Wei Xiao again, Godfather AD carry,
man.
as he chases Name off his lawn. Name rose to power, saying, you know, watching Wei Xiao play and making the statement, I can be better than that guy. I can replace him. I can be just as good. Of course, now on the stage has a big reputation, but again, both World Elite and EDG are kind of in a slump. World Elite was looking fantastic kind of in the middle of the split. The meta shifted back to traditional lanes, so Wei Xiao wasn't finding his lane swap. And they came into this weekend where they had a chance at 6 games, and they went 1-5. And that was kind of the downward spiral of World Elite. Been a little bit quiet for them. See if they can bring it back again. This is the very last game of the, the very last set of the LPL season.
Yeah, they're trying to make it explosive. Conan Wei Zhao waiting in the wings, and a very cautious start from Name and FCZF. They have a squishy bot lane. No shenanigans, really, apart from that. But this, I think the bot lane is definitely the one to start, to take a look at this game. It's going to be nuts.
See how this Kassadin deals with the Maokai matchup. Very curious how that's going to end up for them. Likewise, both junglers starting on the top of the map. Oh, FCZF.
Oh boy, he gets caught out. Has to burn his flash, but he's going. Oh, nowhere! He's not dead yet. That shield keeping him alive. Oh man, I can't even look away for a second. This is insane right now, Frosk.
I wish we were on tournament client so I could tell if he had leveled that up last second as a reaction to what had happened, or if he had, because typically Jonas will start shield in the lane, but you know sometimes crazy things happen.
Never know. That was so close, though, and Wei Zhao has to be upset he didn't pick that one up. The burn would have been Conan's kill, but they resolved to keep laning it out right now. Name has to be so careful to deal with this, but so far, advantage. Wei Zhao on the bot. They hit 2 first.
Oh, likewise, they also got 2 summoners for 1, so they trade the Ignite for the Janna Flash as well as the heal from Name.
The other lanes are not nearly as exciting, by the way.
Not yet. I'm still really curious. if the Kassadin priority for the quote, because he doesn't have the best reputation in China. Like globally and internationally, he's like this huge threat. You can't let Kassadin through. But in China, he hasn't found a lot of success. I believe that Mickey God actually played him probably to most success.
Yeah, even at the competitive level, there's still only so many people that you consider to be like big Kassadin players as well. You look at like Europe, for example, it'd be Xpeke. Would be kind of that guy that you especially don't give it to. It's easy to forget when he's just so frequently banned out.
Of course, CS going even across. I'm just like really trying to think about how the matchup is going to go. I would think that Clearlove needs to prioritize that top lane and gank early, pre-level 6 for Kassadin, so he doesn't have the rift walk, and it's much easier to do. And he has a lot of threats and potential up there, having the innate tankiness from Maokai, likewise the targetable CC and dive potential there. We'll see if Clearlove kind of changes his ways, though, and comes out of the jungle.
Yeah, right now he's making a move down towards there, but just getting a little bit of vision. Clearlove, on an early game jungler like this, definitely wants to try and control as much of the map as he can, but he's not known for ganking. He likes to farm a lot. It's kind of curious that they went for the Lee Sin pickup in this particular regard.
And Lee Sin actually has good numbers for Clearlove, so again, it's just about can he turn it on. We talked about kind of the priority that his team really calls for him to show up. Having that high kill participation, he is a very important member for when EDG is kind of firing on all cylinders.
But he's like an indicator.
Yeah, he's not a jungler. He's a team fighter. Like that's the best way to put it. Great in the 5v5.
Yeah. And the way that their lineup is laid out, it's definitely a very good team fighting comp if they can find a catch on somebody. Talmay would be very, very slippery, hard to get a hold of, especially Axine as well. But if they can get Ninja or Wei Xiao, well, Clearlove making moves. Speaking of Ninja. Oh, dodging out. So he gets away.
Very nice blue suede shoes from Ninja right there. I believe that the Sonic Wave had connected with the red buff proc as well as the burst damage that came out of you. It probably would have spelled first blood there, so good sidestepping.
They're probing around looking for something. At this point, World Elite, I think they're confident in their ability to just outplay in lane. And they're trying to prove it right now. The bot lane is actually... yeah, in the lead right now. Wei Xiao, he's not up a ton of farm on Name, but it's just going to take one mistake.
This is very much expected, though. Of course, we had the early summoners burned by the cheese.
Bush hiding.
But the bush hiding. But in all honesty, until Corki gets level 6, although taking a lot of poke damage, has to be
Wei Xiao is too. Oh, Helen Gale not going to connect.
Until Corki gets level 6, Lucian's going to have full control of the wave. And then the other issue, though, is that Janna doesn't have really any kind of... she's not like Thresh or Leona or she doesn't have the relic shield. She can't instantly proc those minions and make them disappear, so she offers 0 wave control.
Axine is here. They know. They have to know. Clearlove is coming. This is going to be a 3v3. Look at how low Name and FCZF are right now. This is dangerous. He's going to move around the side. Meanwhile, up in the top, by the way, Koro taking a little bit of damage because Salme hit 6, and that means it's time to go ham.
It's unfortunate, too, that Clearlove wasn't able to get the pre-level 6 gank. Speaking of ganks, though, Axine changed up the strategy.
Name and FCZF are so low, and they've not hit 5 yet. They're a level down to the World Elite bot side. Yeah, he has to, but this is so dangerous if they choose to dive in there. They go, Conan! Oh! Stand behind me onto a minion, and here comes Clearlove as well. Howling Gale once again failing to connect. Everything is revealed. And World Elite will have to go home empty-handed. It was a nice dodge away, but it was a close thing.
World Elite looks like they're pinging out for the dragon, though.
Yeah, they might be able to take this one. Without the bot lane available, it's only going to be Clearlove. He doesn't even have Smite available either. But the longer that they stall this out, World Elite not 100% confident they can take it just yet.
They don't want a chance at 50-50. Technically, Axine has the level advantage, so he has the higher level Smite, but you're competing against the the Sonic Wave execute of the Lee Sin steal. So,
well, and Clearlove is really great at pulling that off as well. He hasn't been as big of a factor, with the exception of that mid lane near miss that he had earlier on. Axine, it's hard to count out of Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix still very much a, I'll say like must pick up, but definitely a lot more popular than he is in the rest of the world right now.
And remember that 4.13, again, was the patch that, although Koro now using his ultimate, that kind of did away with the carry junglers or tried to focus and target them out. Lee Sin got hit, Eve got hit, Elise got hit.
Does bring a lot more back into the fold.
Yeah, and Kha'Zix got his Q buffed up. Not the same Kha'Zix that was previously, you know, kind of the end-all be-all king of the jungle for that short stint there, but kind of back in alignment.
Yep. Oh, well, hello. So they left Wei Xiao alone, and this is kind of what they like to do, give him a little extra solo experience and farm. But they're bringing the roaming Conan, and this is what Conan does also. However, there's going to be a fight here. Axine, oh, he's in trouble, but Name, can he get the kill off? He does. Phosphorus Bomb for first blood. Name coming up with an out-of-position Axine.
Very nice read by EDG to recognize what was going on right there and punish it, and that's a red buff to the AD carry.
Yeah, that is not the greatest start for Axine right now, as Wei Xiao moves away from the damage threat. It kind of neutralizes their early game advantage, really.
Anytime your jungler dies early, it effectively gives up all map pressure across the board.
Especially to your ADC, or to the
enemy
ADC. That's a special. Oh boy.
And likewise, it happened in kind of conjunction with Name turning 6, and again, the big power swing for Corki here, very much kind of like how Kog'Maw gets much stronger at level 6 due to his poke potential. So immediately you see the shift in lane. It's not just the red buff, but it's also that Corki ultimate coming. Nope. I would expect to see Axine the next time his ultimate is available to kind of lane gank through the back here.
Yeah, they're going to need it at this point. Whoa, maybe not just yet. Wei Xiao taking a lot of poke from Name, but returning it in kind. I always wondered, like, if Riot wouldn't like add maybe a new animation, like when he levels up to like a certain power spike level, like it's Earth Rider skin, right? Maybe like Earth should start like flexing his fins or something.
Like with Ezreal's ultimate skin, I think he gets different. Yeah, he gets different animations.
Yeah, no, he totally does. Oh, you should hear all the sounds. It's like this really cool like computer voice. And then it asks him if he requires a map, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
It's cool, guys.
Yeah,
I got this.
It's all cool.
Again, though, Tristana. Kog'Maw was banned away, Tristana was available, and they prioritized Lucian again.
She was nerfed too, but not like so hard. It is a little bit strange, but I feel like Lucian is a comfort pickup for Wei Xiao.
Again, I think it's the oh, hold on a second.
Oh boy, okay, he goes and finds Koro. There's Clear Love as well. Sao Mei getting turned on right now. He could go down. The Riftwalk has a higher cooldown. Koro trying to be very careful not to take any extra damage. They do get it. Koro picking up Sao Mei, and Axine on the run. He has to burn his flash just to get away from this, but he's not out of the woods yet. Clear Love also flashing forward. Does not have the kick available. Nice jump juke. Oh boy, that's going to be another kill for Clear Love. Oh man. He barely gets out alive. Meanwhile, the mid lane had some craziness too. Wow, the plays.
In the creation of EDG, Koro was actually picked as the top laner due to his established synergy with Clearlove as the jungler. That was very important to them, and frankly, as they went in kind of the back half of their split, Clearlove just stopped ganking Koro. They kind of left him to his own devices, and it became much more a bottom and mid-focused kind of ganking path for the jungle. It's nice to see them go back up there. And again, you kind of saw like the synergy waiting on Koro's cooldowns for the Twisted Advance to get in there and pick up the kill on the Kassadin. The communication there. This is old EDG.
Yeah, but they're not even needing to stall out super hard too. They're able to turn up the heat when they need to, and they're sensing, like really preempting the moves made by World Elite right now. And you've got to worry for that side that everything they do is just sort of getting sniffed out. Axine, in particular, hasn't looked very impressive.
Unfortunately, Axine has been on the wrong end of these ganks.
No, he's definitely wearing a frowny face right now. Wei Xiao, keeping his serious face on as well, but he always does that.
Funny, because his name means little smirk.
Yeah, that's slightly ironic. What do his fans call him?
I'm not going there.
No? Okay. In any case.
I'm sorry, Pyro Spaghetti Pants.
Oh, it happens sometimes.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes
the
just throw the ball and I don't catch it.
The spot lane is being thrown really out of like all proportion right now. Clear Love has made moves down to the Dragon. FCZF trying his best to zone. Axine is here, but taking advantage of the back. This is going to be a Dragon uncontested over to EDG as they really get themselves a serious lead. 3 kills to none, 18.5k gold to 16.
I'm really conflicted right now. I want to congratulate Clearlove, because I feel like his the few ganks that he has made have been very on point because they've been fantastic counter ganks, particularly in that top lane the last time we saw Axon go down. But this feels very much like old EDG. Again, you have zero roam coming from you. Even when he plays Assassins, of course, this time he's on Orianna, not necessarily the most mobile of champions, but even when he had, Ahri and Kassadin, he never really got involved in any of his side lanes. And I feel like this is only being allowed just because of the particular style of World Elite, that they're not really forcing EDG to do anything or being very proactive. It's very kind of reactionary.
Oh,
so
speaking of reactions.
Don't know if this is I don't know if this is EDG playing back up to form or if this is simply the rock, paper, scissors matchup of these top teams that World Elite just can't kind of stand up to EDG in current.
It could be the fact that they both had kind of hard times, but EDG has only very recently been having some issues, whereas World Elite has clearly struggled throughout most of this split. They've definitely had some successes, but the fact that they're tied in 4th place right now with LGD definitely speaks a story, and EDG are pressing every advantage they can. I've been very impressed with the way they've handled this early game.
Definitely see if they can keep it up again, competing against the late game of Kassadin.
Yeah, but they've got a late game Corki. Orianna can swing fights like crazy. And
Maokai.
Yeah, there's Maokai.
Maokai.
Wei Xiao, by comparison, I almost would have rather him take that Tristana build as he Valkyries away from the calling shots. Name, he's that guy who will never back. Like, he's fine. Here we go. He should leave right now. He really should leave right now, but he's not going to.
Oh, they ended up kind of even with the trade there.
That's true. Wei Xiao's pretty low.
They also
He's still got
the,
Summoner Heal, though.
The Janna ultimate available to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
SCZF, a very good Janna.
Oh, yeah. And they have Clearlove being brought in now. A little bit of heavy artillery. See if they can make a play. But he knows. Wei Xiao knows he's not going to make anything unnecessary. He's a very conservative player, which is kind of at odds with the fact that he's, he's very self-assured in his play, and he won't, necessarily back down from a lot of fights.
This guy is the player that pioneered the concept that you don't burn an AD carry's escape offensively, that you play conservative to your escapes, which, I mean, it sounds very basic now, but at the time was pretty... Look at FCZF playing with the minion wave. Brought it all the way around.
Oh, those minions, they'll follow you all the way into the jungle. I've seen one go from bot lane to mid lane. Like, meet up with his cousins. Say, oh, hey, you guys are on vacation too?
Krillov standing in the wings. Oh, but right, Wei Xiao, the godfather of AD carry, like you said, being a very patient... Ooh, are they using that as bait?
Maybe. Oh,
he doesn't have you.
Sonic Wave connecting. But yeah, he doesn't have any backup right now. They're going to give this up.
I hate watching a pink ward die.
Every time a pink ward dies, 30 gold is given to the enemy team.
I thought that was going to go to puppies or kittens, and I was going to be very upset.
Nope. You completely misunderstand. Oh, Name with the armor shred, but he's got to be careful. Stunned up by the Winter Spike. Concussive blows, but he turns it around with a rocket. Wei Xiao is low. Calling back. FCZF flashing forward. Gets the Howling Gale off only onto Conan, and they'll have to go home empty-handed. Very aggressive play from both teams. FCZF seemed a little unnecessary there.
Oh, wait, Ninja roaming down.
Oh, boy.
He's in ultimate range.
Xerath ult is there as well. Maxine is coming in. Name, better be careful, but there's no follow-up. What is he doing? He goes down. Name getting the kill. Howling Gale coming up with the assist. What just happened, Frosk?
Well, it started out with a 2v1 from Name, although, hold on a second, because Salme might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yep, he's going down.
Oh, he's just going to take the tower and tree away. Make like a tree and leaf.
No, he's making like a tree and sticking around. Wants to fight this one out. Salme is not going anywhere either. These two teams are just at each other's throats, fighting whenever they get a chance. But 2 towers now in favor of EDG, and World Elite getting slowly but surely pushed in. 5k gold down.
And see, I was very much expecting a slow-paced game simply because of EDG being on their slump, kind of reverting back to their old ways of stalling out for late game. World Elite, known as a team who likes to stall and wait for Wei Xiao to find his power spike. But it's actually, like you said, has been rather explosive. I wasn't really expecting the amount of action to connect, and a lot of that goes to Clearlove.
Frost, can we talk about how FCZF just built a Medjai's?
It makes sense. Okay, you want me to break this down to you?
Theory craft this for me, because my brain hurts.
Okay, here we go. Janna, mobility, safety, disengage-based support. Very hard to kill. Anytime she puts a shield on you, like think about it even in Ezreal context. If Ezreal fires his True Shot Barrage and she places the shield on you after you fired it, and it kills a champion, as long as the shield is on that champion in the time of the ultimate killing someone, you get an assist. So it's very easy for Janna to get assists just because of how her shield works, and it's very safe for her to build a Magi's because she's very difficult to kill, to lock down.
She's got a 50% kill participation right now in this mid-game, and as long as he sticks to Name, I can see it working, but this is going to be really curious. See how many stacks he can get pulled up on that. Very confident. Number one, you almost wonder if that's like a little bit of a shot taken too. And, you know, FCZF, a previous World Elite member.
I will say that sort of the cult Magi's are much more common in China than they are in surrounding regions.
That's true, but there's also a lot of fights, a lot of kills. And, hey, look, a dragon is up right now, EDG. Taking no time in securing that up. Goes down again. 2 dragons, 2 none right now in favor of this team. And they're looking to fight it out. Clearlove. Wow, he's going hard. Can he get the kickback, though? Not yet, but he kicks Conan. May not have been the best choice. That is a Glacial Fissure, only landing on a couple of members. Conan is low. They might be able to take him down. He's low. Oh, there's Clearlove. That is a big pickup. Ball is coming in, landing on Axine. Another kill going over Ninja. Gonna mop that one up, but Name coming up with another kill himself. Trading 2 for 1. I think they'll take that.
Not the worst scenario. They did lose the dragon as well. We'll see if they can get back into position to try to stop this siege.
2 assists for FCZF, by the way. He's got more Magi stacks.
2 stacks. He's going.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely going. Oh, they might look to dive Ninja here. Howling Gale. Oh, Koro and Xiaomei continuing to 1v1 each other long after the lanes have ended. This is looking a little bit really rough for World Elite. They still have their tower at half health, but that would have easily gone down had they not decided to dive.
All of their pressure loss, though, has effectively been on the jungle, which I think is kind of the tell of this game currently. With Axine, means the entire jungle, means the dragon, means things like the blue buffs. See if EDG can keep that pressure alive, but it's very comforting to see Clearlove kind of return to the form. Again, at the start of the split, it was almost like a new EDG. They were starting to evolve kind of past their one-dimensional play style. Stalled out, and we may see the rise on the back half before playoffs.
As Kazik says, change is good. Pretty sure someone else said that first.
It's so unfortunate because you're using the quote of the guy who's not necessarily having the best time of his life.
It's okay. He's 0-4 right now, but it's okay. He can come back. Axine, you know, again, we've talked about how, like, some teams have come up with really big plays with their Korean imports, you might say. Insect clearly is a very big household name. Axine not so much, but they do love him. I mean, they you know, just like they call Ninja Rabbit, they call him Bear and send him also plushies.
Considered a rather strong jungler from Korea. Unfortunately, circumstances outside of his control. He was accused in some allegations of match fixing. Was cleared of all claims, so he was not found guilty of anything. Was innocent, and it kind of tarnished his name, and he couldn't really find a team to pick him back up. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't seem to have any issue picking him up in China, of course. And he has definitely made some big plays with World Elite, but it just hasn't been on the level I think they were expecting. Seems like maybe there have been a few sometimes questionable benchings. I don't know. The argument has been made there. But World Elite somewhat struggled to find a rhythm. They seem to be doing okay. This game clearly not on the same level as EDG, though, in the mid-game, at least.
The gold lead right now for EDG, creating that room as early as they have. You know, at 50 minutes, that doesn't mean as much, but coming up just past, 20 minutes, that's
look at every lane. Yu has traded pretty evenly. He's had a little bit of help from Clearlove to be able to soak up a little bit of push pressure, and he's, just barely out-farming his lane opponent. Up in the top, Koro has gone full going on Xiaomei. It just says, okay, you want a 1v1? We'll take the 1v1. This is a guy that wasn't known for that. Yeah, no, it's a noun, actually, if you want to get technical. Oh, boy. Speaking of go-going. Name and FCZF, they've answered back that early pressure with a lot of their own. And look, a 3-0 Corki, an 0-0-4 Janna with the Medjais. I mean, they're very confident going into this one. And they're not afraid to get extremely aggressive. Wei Zhao, on the other hand, playing a very conservative game, rightly so. One of the few members on his team that hasn't got down yet.
The kill participation on Clearlove, 2, 1, and 2, 4 out of 6 kills.
Oh yeah, he's made a big pressure game this time. And he has ganked a few times, too. This guy wasn't really known for it. And he's definitely made a big impact. Now that the team fights happen, expect him to make even more as the map pressure game begins. The Ward Wars, we like to call them. Episode 1.
I'd watch it. I won't even lie.
Oh, I totally would too. And maybe we can get a movie deal or something after this.
Possibly. Dragon gonna spawn in 1 minute 36 seconds.
Ooh, Name, careful. Uh-oh! Koro gets a face full of Axine and Salmei, but he's gonna teleport away! Oh, and they just give it to him. Oh, man. Name still putting pressure on the bot side.
Have not gone through for Maokai. He is able to keep that ultimate on effectively indefinitely should he have the mana resource for it. So
yeah, it's only 413.
Pops his AoE exhaust ultimate and then just waits for the teleport to carry through. Pretty cheeky.
Yeah, working out pretty well for them. EDG, when I just like take away the names of the teams and just like what you might expect from them and everything, when I just look at these two teams, and I just see the blue side making so many more moves, just controlling so much more of the map. EDG seems the active team in all of this, and we're really clearly trying to react to everything that they're throwing at them.
Which is funny that you should mention that it's the blue side, because purple side actually has a higher win rate in China due to the fact that it's very much about the counter pick and
True
what
that.
the purple side offers there. Again, thinking about kind of the mid lane makeup that makes up the LPL.
Well, they prioritized
sentence
a lot
phrasing.
of interesting things. Yeah, well, you know, it happens. I mean, they got Cassidy, which is sort of like a a giveaway, but they've been able to deal with this just fine. He's not really been effective in a lot of these fights. He's been out-farmed and out-pushed by Koro. And then the Lucian priority from Wei Zhao seems very strange. It's almost like they intended it as a takeaway from Name, but he had no intention of picking it up. He goes straight for the Corki.
Which I really like to see him changing up and going for Corki. I believe that he played Lucian twice in their previous games. Not to a lot of success. I would have liked to see Wei Xiao on Tristana. I think it would have helped with their composition a little bit more. Ultimately Kog'Maw, but of course that being banned away. And again, third Dragon of the game in favor of EDG. Completely uncontested. It looks like Axine and now going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, he knows. He knows he's in trouble right now, and he goes invisible just to stop it. They'll be quite all right with that. Big gold lead in favor of EDG. Salmei trying to answer with the tower up top, but the pressure is on in the bot, and the split going on in the mid with Koro making his presence known there.
Right now comes down to, can they stall out?
I don't know if they can. This is really rough right now. This tower's falling fast. They have a lot of siege as they trade towers, an outer for an inner. They're going to be able to get themselves a blue buff on the way out too. It's like a drive-through.
I feel like they need to get Salmei involved in their team fights and make use of the strength that Kassadin has. Obviously the Roa should be coming up onto completed stacks. I didn't quite catch the time of when he completed that. Does have his Iceborne Gauntlet available to him, or should have it in the next few backs. They need to be utilizing the strength of this Kassadin pickup and make it count for them.
Yeah, so far I haven't really come up with much of anything, and it's only been the one kill cleaned up by Ninja earlier on in that blue invade. And the warding pressure, too, out of EDG is so unlike what we've seen. You know, we talked about Classic China a lot last game. There is nothing classic about this with the immense ward control that I'm seeing out of EDG right now. World Elite just struggling to keep their own jungle clear.
Oh, definitely a lot of pinks. What, 4 pinks right now?
Yeah,
so
they're a
4
good
out
investment.
of the 5 members have their pink wards on the map.
Uh-oh. Vaccine found one.
30 gold, I'm rich.
Yep. It's
He
going to buy
effectively
him
has
a
just
sweet
doubled
potion.
his gold bounty.
Oh. That's a low blow for sure. He's going to get a little bit more out of the white. They're just going to be able to clear camps for a little while, but they're not confident to take fights, and I don't blame them.
That said, it's going to be very difficult now for EDG to kind of make more moves. Towers left up on the map that are priority targets are going to be that second tier mid tower, first and foremost, unless they can find a dive on Salmei unsuspecting about top tower.
Yeah.
Here comes the Baron dance.
A couple of bush baits happening, but nobody falling for anything just yet. Ninja knows that they are there, and they're going for this one. Oh, Axine! He's taken pretty low. FCZF gets knocked back for a bit of damage. He has to be careful, though. Gets himself a big shield. A lot of shields on this team. Something we didn't really mention as much in the champion selection, but an extra measure of protection for EDG in these fights.
You have the Maokai. See, I was waiting for the team fight. Look what you did, Pyra.
Yep, sorry. It happened.
I was waiting for the 5v5, because, yeah, you are absolutely right. It is a shield-based comp. You have the Safeguard, you have the Orianna E, the
Protect
Janna
the Name.
shield, of course, And then all on top of that is the Maokai 20% DPS reduction.
Yeah, it's almost going to be impossible to assassinate a single target, and that effectively neutralizes a lot of Axion and Sao Mei's effectiveness, puts a lot on Ninja and on Wei Xiao. And you talked about the stall tactic that World Elite likes to pull. I don't know if it'll work for them this time. They don't have a better scaling comp, and here comes Clearlove. Teleport in from Koro. They want a fight. They get a flash. Conan on the run back to his tower, and EDG in hot pursuit. They're not giving up on this yet. Koro, he's going to flash as well, and they are going for this tower.
Mechanical misstep. I believe that he actually twisted advance a minion.
Yeah, right next to him.
But he finds
he does. And that's a tower gone, too. They can take this fight. Glacial Fissure coming out, and that is going to force Sao Mei to rift walk away. Can he get out? Ninja in trouble. He falls down. Name does not get the kill. Gets a nice assist for that, and the Monsoon comes out. Hey, everybody, ready for round 2. This is FCZF as this tower is looking juicy. They just wait for the mini wave. They don't even need to wait. They're going to fire it down, and Frost, 28 minutes. First inhibitor turret going to go down in favor of EDG, but maybe not, because they decided they don't want to face down Wei Xiao Sao Mei just yet.
More importantly, in that last team fight, you had a lot of damage resources committed to picking off Ninja on the side. That effectively was a 4v1 zone from Koro there as EDG turned towards this Baron.
Yep, and they might have started up a little bit early. They're going to wait for the bait. Oh, illusion was complete as they nearly get Axion, but a number of deaths, I think, have taught him the harsh lesson that jumping in is not always the best course of action.
I feel like Clearlove got abandoned in the Baron pit. He wasn't quite on the
Guys,
memo.
are we doing it? Oh, okay, I guess not. It's okay, though.
That's what happens when you're the secondary shot caller. You get left in the Baron pit.
Oh, man. Everybody's listening to not you, right? I know that feel.
Do you, Pyra?
Yeah.
Are you saying something?
I'm so lonely sometimes. Hey, Clearlove's doing really well, actually. He's 2-1 on the game. He's got 3 assists in his pocket, too. And you always mention he's sort of like the ticker, the thermometer for how well is EDG doing. Are they red hot? Is Clearlove red hot? Oh, okay, then we're good.
Is Clearlove on point?
Yeah. Sort of when he does well, the team rises with him. And so far, they have played very, very strongly. They've protected the carry that they need to. Also, Yu has played not particularly special, but yeah, good.
I want to talk about something, because we talked a lot about Chinese warding. There's a reputation that Chinese warding is very underdeveloped. Take a look at this Baron ward from World Elite here. By placing it on the front fence post of the Baron pit, it removes itself from the pink ward that is typically in that small little brush in the middle of the river, as well as any sort of pink ward that will be placed inside the pit to clear it, but still gives you vision if a team goes for the Baron itself. Very clever ward right there.
Yeah, that's a nice move by World Elite, and they're going to need that little edge if they can contest something, but EDG not looking to give them too many openings. They've got this tower in their sights with a 5-1 tower lead already. They can just bait out Baron for all day if they want to.
Look at the sweepers.
Yep. Oh, they pinged it on. Now, Sao Mei managed to follow up with a tower in the bot, but this is a really risky play with the Baron going under fire right now. Or at least, you know, being baited. It's hard to tell. I wish the camera would go that way. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, they're taking it down. Now, so this is seen out because of that extra one. Oh, Axion! He does! And he might sacrifice for it, but that is hashtag worth, and he might even get away. Oh, man. Froskurinn, World Elite just bought themselves a ticket to another few minutes, and now they're pushing split on the bottom with Sao Mei. Brilliant steal by Axion redeeming himself.
Axion comes up huge right there, effectively feeding the entire game. 0-5-1, completely turns around the pace of the game and presses a pause button for World Elite to regroup. Likewise, ammo, we talked about at the start of the game, what is Sao Mei known for? Versatility. More importantly, I mean, I said before that Sao Mei was probably having the best split of his life. Of course, when World Elite took kind of their nose dive on the middle of the split, Sao Mei's performance dropped with it, but he has always been so good at running the split push as opposed to other top laners. So a huge turn of power right there for World Elite.
Yeah, grabbing themselves 2 towers and a Snuck Baron just for 1 Void Bug. What a trade. You definitely got to be happy about that. And I think that ward that you were talking about earlier paid for itself.
Oh my goodness. Look at the amount of pink wards that are around the Baron.
And they couldn't get that one. Yeah, they've got to be kicking themselves. But they get themselves another dragon and compensate. They still have a pretty massive gold lead. But what this does is give World Elite a bit of confidence to try and fight it out. They're going to need it too, because they've only got 1 outer tower left.
You're absolutely right. The Baron doesn't translate into a swing of power or as far as like a victory, but it is kind of the start of the win condition for World Elite. It's all about what they're able to do with it. They should utilize the Baron to take back control of their jungle, start wording out the river, look for picks, and again, play to the strength of the Cassidy pick. They prioritized it so much to take it for the first pick, lost out, on some other high priority picks that were taken away from them, such as the Corki pickup being taken away from, although they actually first picked Lucian, so I'm not even gonna, I'm not even gonna go there.
It's been a really strange set of priorities. I feel like it was less of a comfort for Wei Zhao and more of a takeaway from Name that kind of backfired.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that, because I'm thinking back to how the picks and bans went out, and you're right, it was Lucian that was picked up before Corki.
Yep. And like the Caston's kind of a no-brainer, and Cao Mei has definitely made good use of it, even though Koro's arguably been stronger. Conan. Oh, it's okay. He's unbreakable.
Is he?
Well, looks like it so far. He's only died once.
Score says.
Well, oh come on. Can't be that
There's
mean.
only 8 kills in the game.
This is actually a very low kill game. I've been very impressed at the level of play these two teams are throwing out right now.
This was expected. We knew it was going to be a slower pace game just because of the reputations and the blueprints.
Controlled.
Yes.
World Elite pulled that. I mean, that was Axion completely making up for everything he'd done previously, and like it's not, you can't fault the guy for trying. Like he just kind of had some bad timings there.
And again, I wanted to take a moment and talk about the sweepers. Talk about again the vision in China.
Nine grand total.
Exactly. It's much more about vision denial rather than vision secure in China. This is a trend that's starting to change. Of course, we see a ton of pinks that were previously on the map as Koro clearing out a ward for himself.
Yeah, but and they haven't been able to clear those wards on the side of World Elite either, just because of the map pressure exerted by EDG.
And Name going for the orb, which started in OGN. I believe I haven't looked closely enough at GPL to see if maybe the trend started there, but it is definitely picking up speed in OGN. And you think about that versus a trinket, how it allows an AD carry to duel more effectively in low vision areas.
Yeah, not only that, it's giving them an edge in the team fight initiation. Hey, do we go in there? Do we check that? Okay, there's nobody in that brush. We can move up if we need to. Baron is on a ticking timer right now. World Elite has to make something happen with this. So far, after the initial confusion and aftermath, they haven't really managed to do anything, and they've got waves pushing against them in the bot. They've got a Koro in the top to contend with, and Wei Zhao, he's going to try and take his place there.
Do you have a bit of a Fnatic brush trying to be set up? Unfortunately,
give me blue buff?
There
Very
they
scary.
go.
Yeah, they're going to just be able to take it away.
We'll see what they do after it, if they're just going to take it and leave. Yeah, okay. Or if they're going to try to set up for a pick.
Clearlove says, hey, I can't safeguard. They are, like, forgetting about him. I feel like Clearlove is that guy that, like, he's, like, the one friend in the group that, like, everyone, like, always forgets about for, like, 5 seconds. They're like, oh, man, we left Clearlove at the concert. Uh-oh. Let's turn around, guys. Oh, he nearly face checked. Speaking of Clearlove. Yeah, that's why you have a blue trinket. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Aha. 30 gold.
That moment when you face check as Lee Sin when you have Sonic Wave. That
Ooh, I can see everything.
If he had died there, no one to blame but yourself. Like, you literally have an ability and a tool on your kit to safely check Fog of War.
It's free vision. Yeah. There's no reason. Now, you've seen those. You ever seen those plays where, like, there's like 4 of them in the bush and, like, they separate just in time to avoid it, and then they face check anyways? That's like the stellar counterplay.
I enjoy the personal favorite, placing the ward in the brush and then standing just to the side of the brush should they attempt to check it with the skill shot. World Elite's Baron is up. Timer back on for that. 1 minute 30 should be the next big point of contention. See if EDG risks another steal this time around, if they look more towards a pick-oriented composition. Again, with the Shockwave, Orianna Yu has the... I mean, look at those items right now. He can easily make someone disappear.
Yeah, I feel like they're stalling out.
Advance for the lockdown.
They're stalling out for the late game at this point because it's hard for them to take any more objectives. The easiest thing aside from a Baron or a Dragon is going to be that last outer tower, but there's such a concentration of World Elite players that it's difficult for them to pull off. And the bot lane duel that's been going on, or the top lane duel that's been going on all game, is shifted to the bot. As Koro and Cao Mei continue to throw blows at each other, at least saplings and void stuff. It's kind of a weird way to fight.
difference, though, is that if these top laners, so as a true 4v4 currently, EDG frankly loses more power than World Elite. Maokai, obviously a much bigger priority in a 5v5 due to how his kit works. Also the items that he has, you know, that Thornmail, Frozen Heart, and Spirit Visage for his team. Whereas Salme, I mean, honestly hasn't really been involved with his team at all. Has been used more so for that mobility, for that split push. So should they stay in that top lane, although now Coral
They're
looking for the
collapsing.
flank.
There is a Twisted Advance going in with the ultimate pop. Ninja gonna get almost blown up immediately, but he finally falls down to Name. Fight is in high gear right now. Clearlove trying to run for his life. Conan getting himself in the mix. Axine as well. Salme on the side can't get involved in this one. This can only go one way, Froskurinn, and I think it's going to go the way of EDG. Salme flashing out as Azania's ends, and they go continuing the chase all the way into the base. I don't know if this is advisable, but they get themselves Axine for all their troubles. Should be able to turn this into an outer tower. And maybe a Baron. Oh yeah, they're going for it.
They are pinging back. This time Axine is down, so no threat of the Smite steal this time around. Pick up a tower. Should get this Baron with no problem.
Yeah, there's really no way to steal it. Axine's was kind of a miracle. I mean, they could send Salme in, and you know maybe he doesn't have a flash available. Yeah, there's no way they can get
Look
this.
at the map for World Elite right now. Completely dark. They had no idea that they were getting the flank from Core. And again, we talk about how the fact that there's 9 sweepers in the game right now, how it's much more about vision denial than it is about vision secure, at least one-sided for World Elite currently. And they got burned by it.
Oh, big time. Not only that, the crazy follow-up chase netted them another kill onto Axine. It could have been much worse for World Elite, and they were just able to pull out in time just barely. I mean, that fancy footwork from Salme was the only thing that saved his life, as well as the timely Zanya's pop. But as it stands, EDG has a massive lead over their opponents, and a Baron to boot.
It's now about if they can break that inhibitor tower. I feel like EDG was kind of firing on all cylinders, and again, with that Baron steal, the pause button went on for World Elite. Things backed up. You know, minimized the gold lead to an extent, still 10k down. Although in the 40-minute mark doesn't mean as much as, you know, the previous 7k at 20 minutes.
That's true, but all the same, they've got a hyper carry who has the most kills. They have a superior team fighting edge if they combine up for that 5-man. And they've effectively not allowed Wei Xiao to really get rolling, which is all that they really needed to do. Well, and Salme.
Frankly, the champion... Clearlove just taking the...
These are my... This is my red buff now.
He's running through the jungle. This is mine. This is mine. You can have the little one. This is mine.
No, even Name doesn't get the little one.
Clearlove is hungry. You took both of them. Oh, yeah. Untimely back. They're buying their items. They pushed the wave, so they created 3 different pressure points on the map for World Elite to deal with. Bit of a mistime on the Baron as they send you and Koro back. They need to break the inhibitor line. This needs to happen right now. They can't continue to stall out this game.
Yeah. World Elite, though, bit of a panic mode for them. They're definitely trying to save as much as they can, but I'm guessing they're very relieved that there hasn't been a big siege just yet. You're right. They need to go 5-man. They need to push this. They need to trust in their team fighting ability.
They need to trust in their composition. Again, this is a shield comp with a Maokai. The tower is not a threat.
They should be able to take this one out. And look at all the Banshee's Veils out there, too. They're just waiting for the moment that they can go in. A wave is coming, and this should be the start of the fight. But Koro decides to go in a little bit early right now, taking tower shots like they don't even matter, because they really don't. This tower is getting fired down on, but World Elite looking to answer some damage back. Clearlove not avoiding as much as he could have. You getting a proc of Winter's Bite, but there's a tower falling down. This should be uninhibitor number 1 as World Elite is starting to scatter backwards. Got to be careful, guys. And that is a muscle move. They get themselves an inhibitor and a turret. Get out for free.
Koro didn't take any damage. The tower literally healed him.
Yeah, Clearlove took some damage. At this point, his effectiveness... Yeah, his effectiveness is like an insect kick.
A cacao.
A
is
cacao.
What they call it now.
Ah, okay. We have new names. Speaking of cacao, looking forward to that later on.
Yeah, it's nice that LPL decided to move their time as to not edge into OGN.
Yeah.
What a day for League of Legends.
I know, you guys, the LPL finals and the OGN finals. Well, okay, this is the end of the season.
Semifinals, the LPL finals, and then the Korean finals.
Yeah, all in one 24-hour period. This is like frothing at the mouth status for League fans, right?
Do you often froth?
Do you even froth?
Froskurinn?
Oh, if you change your name to that, I'm not sure if I'll be happy or grossed out.
Name change incoming. Speaking of incoming, Koro.
Yep.
Just that's the 1v3. They have no idea how to deal with it.
They can't handle it right now. Now Name's got to be very careful. He's going to Valkyrie away, and that might be the chance. But they're taking the 1v4. Koro says that's just fine. Bring it. Salme in the picture. Shockwave not going to connect on anybody. Salme still alive and able to rift walk it out. But this is still trouble right now. Koro looking to chase down Wei Xiao. They don't need the tower. They're going to chase them all the way down. Wei Xiao is done. Koro looking for Conan. Clear Love on the backside, and they will be able to find another kill. 3 members of World Elite down, and this is going to be game number 1. EDG with the superior team fighting edge, finding themselves a big win over rivals World Elite in 43.5 minutes.
Pressure is on. World Elite has to win. Last game of the LPL season. If they do not win here, it goes to the tiebreaker between them and LGD to see who will take the playoff spot. If World Elite does not get into the playoffs, the world dream is dead.
Yeah, they have a couple of chances, but they have to win this next match just to guarantee them a spot in the playoffs. If not, it'll be a runoff against LGD, and anything can happen when LGD is in the picture. Those guys are crazy up and down. But we will see after this. We'll be going to a brief break, set our cooldowns for just a couple of minutes, because when we return, the explosive final between Edward Gaming and Team World Elite. Can EDG end up taking it all the way to the top? They would edge out OMG with another win. But if not, World Elite locks in their spot for the finals. Guys, or rather for the playoffs. Guys, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, because you're watching the LPL in English. I think only recently has it been kind of picking up the pace.
And of course, in the top lane, probably the most popular player in China is going to be Strawberry.
Cao Mei, which translates roughly to the same thing. He's been on the team for a long, long time, since November 2011. Long tenure with World Elite, very, very popular. One of the most humble players, too. This guy apologized for his performance at All-Stars, and yeah, I mean, this guy, you can't not like him.
Very likable guy. Coming into picks and bans, I definitely think that it's hard because I feel like Name favors more so the Kog'Maw. Has seen a lot of Lucian play recently. We'll see if he continues on that trend again. This is 4.13, so Lucian has seen his most recent changes, or if he's going to look for a hyper carry. The play styles of these teams are very... They're very similar in how they slow the game down. World Elite is very much... yeah, it comes with the but. World Elite is very much about waiting for Wei Xiao. He's the primary shot caller of the team. They pretty much slow everything down. Very specific formula to how they win. Wei Xiao gets solo farm. Conan goes roam, utility base mid. And then Cao Mei and Axon kind of pick up the slack in the other areas until Wei Xiao's ready. EDG... Again, a very kind of slow-paced team. They like to kind of stall out. Again, a lot of big zigs play, wait for that late-game movement. So going to be very curious if this is going to follow kind of the traditional LPL that people know of being like very explosive deathmatch, or if this is going to be a very slow-paced, measured, late-game set.
Well, the bans are clearly not slow-paced. Yeah, historically, Wei Xiao and the rest of World Elite just love to stall out the game until they're like, okay, it's Wei Xiao time, let's go completely crazy. Do you think that this is going to be... I mean, I want to say that the focus of this game will be in the bot lane with the AD carries. These are guys with really, really big chips on their shoulders, a lot to prove. But maybe Wei Xiao goes for the lane swap, I don't know. Oh, whoa, Cassidy was available. And, okay.
Okay, just to quickly go over the bans. Alistair, Thresh, Jace. Jace is a target ban at Ninja, found his Penta on Jace. Zillion, Rengar, Kog'Maw. Again, talking about the hyper carries. If the hyper carries are going to go down, although Wei Xiao is picking up that Lucian, it was going to be Kog'Maw for Name, but it looks like this time around he's going to turn to Corki. So countering the, yeah, it's the self-sufficient mobility that is a very high priority in China because it's very much about these long, extended engagements and constantly repositioning yourself, as opposed to an instantaneous 1-2 burst.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the side of World Elite, they go for the Lucian Braum pickup, which, you know, is still fairly strong, but it definitely speaks to me that this is going to be prompting the lane swap. Again, World Elite, they love to protect Wei Zhao until he's ready to go crazy. And they have a late game comp for it. Oh my goodness. Axine gets the Kazakhs lock in. Ooh, I like this.
FCZF did play Janna last night. Janna has a 100% win rate currently in LPL. Only has 2 games played on her, though. So this will be the 3rd. That is Udyr, if you can't
Yeah,
tell
if you guys
who
aren't
that.
familiar with the Chinese splash. Yeah, Janna has been coming back, actually. I've been seeing it at all levels in a lot of regions.
This is also the Janna buff patch. Her Tailwind gets a radius increase. Switching over to... ooh, okay. So here's the thing. We were just talking about... Okay, yeah, that makes much more sense. Clearlove actually finds a lot of success on Lee Sin, which is interesting because, again, you think he's not necessarily a ganking jungler, and then he goes and he picks a jungler who's primarily all about the ganks. We'll see if this pick kind of forces him out of his comfort zone and forces him to make these early plays that his team needs to, especially against a jungler like Axine, picking up that comfort champion of Kazakhs. Excuse me, needed some water right there.
Yeah. It's that kind of game. It's very exciting, very fast-paced, and we'll see what the last lock-in for Ninja is going to be. Hovering Xerath right now. This would be
That's a top
one of the... yeah, most definitely. Salme, he can play anything, man. That guy will play whatever his team needs.
I was going to say, that made sense. I wouldn't... they normally don't put...
The team directs a lot of the action in that bot lane.
I'm also very jealous of his keyboard, but you are right. Secondary shot caller is going to be Clearlove in the jungle, and Clearlove, the highest kill participation of any player in the LPL.
Ah, yeah.
So if he's not on
77%,
point, yeah, it's 77.
I mean, that's insane. And this is for a guy who doesn't gank.
It says something about EDG. Their opponents, of course, are going to be World
Elite. Anyway.
I wanted to say World Elite Academy, and as my brain, I was like, no, it's not Academy. That's Wei Xiao.
Yeah, this is the real deal. These guys are here and they mean business. They need to take some wins to ensure their spots in the playoffs for the LPL Summer. Can they do it, or will they force the runoff against LGD? Of course, we are going to get into it right here and right now. It's going to be Conan in support in that bot lane.
I wonder if she proposed to him with her sign.
He looks like he's not revealing any of that right now. We'll find out later.
For such...
He's already married to Wei Xiao.
Oh, that's very true, actually. His husband in the bot lane is going to be the godfather of 80 carries, Wei Xiao there. Found a lot of success, yep, on that Tristana.
Oh, yeah.
Should look to do for the hyper carries.
Anything with a hyper carry, and especially if you can build a Trinity Force. Well, not necessarily needed on Tristana, but they've got...
Triskog Corki.
Yes, but here's the thing about this patch. This is where Tristana gets some of those minor nerfs. See if he handles that or goes over to something different. In the mid lane, of course, it is going to be Ninja. Everybody loves Ninja. They call him Rabbit, actually, and send him little plushies.
They sent him a lot of little plushies.
Like they filled up the house, right?
Exactly. Pulled out the AP Kog'Maw. Typically had a very specific formula of playing utility-based mages. Has started to break out of that box on the back half of the split. Joining him in his Korean heritage is going to be Axine or Sin in the jungler.
Yep. They kind of picked him up in pairs. That was sort of the meaning of all of that. And Axine... coming over after a long stint on a number of Korean teams, has definitely made some plays, but he hasn't stepped up as much as World Elite might have expected. And
if EDG 2-0s, like you said, they have a chance. They will go to the tiebreaker match to see who continues forward to the playoffs. From the playoffs, depending how those match out, it will say what teams get invited to the World Qualifiers. So the run is still on and very much important to this match of Worldly or LGD having a chance at that World spot.
Oh, yeah. And they very badly want it. They definitely had some struggles with the roster swaps they pulled at the beginning in a minute, because right now it is, of course, going to be Edward Gaming bringing up that top lane. It's Cora 1, everybody's favorite supporting style.
Recently, though, has really started to shift and kind of evolve into more of a carry-oriented top laner, like we've seen from Going, has pulled out the Ryze, pulled out the Aurelia. In the jungle, it's going to be Clearlove. Again, Clearlove jungling under the Messiah. Of course, the crowd going wild because he was one of the former World Elite members. Found success on Jarvan most recently. That Lee Sin and Evelyn, unfortunately, did not pan out for him, although Eve, pretty much a comfort champion, but unfortunately, Clearlove not known for his early lane pressure. He's not a ganking jungler, he's a team fight jungler.
No, and there's the man that has not necessarily needed him as he's been able to step up recently. It is, of course, you, Unstoppable. as his friends call him. He likes himself a good number of champs. They used to put him on Ziggs all the time, but he's been playing a lot of Assassins lately. Big Cassin pickup resulting in some huge plays for them. See if they can, carry the game on the back of him.
Speaking of carrying the game, it's going to be Name in the AD carry position. Name has a big reputation, a lot of hype. Unfortunately, EDG, both these teams actually have kind of been in a rut and on the down and down. You talk about, you looking towards the Assassin players had that Kassadin. That was a 15-minute zero-roam Kassadin game where they pretty much got shut down. See if maybe things will turn around, if they're going to go back to their old previous ways. And again, World Elite former member, FCZF.
He's half asleep right now. FCZF is a very, very strong support. He's also the primary shot caller for... All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting. Had to prep the players because this is going to be an explosive match. So appropriate for the last set of the LPL Summer regular season Froskurinn, the rivalry of Edward Gaming versus World Elite. I cannot wait.
You said it yourself, the phrase or the motif going in is going to be grudge match. Of course, these teams have a long-standing animosity, not so much between the players anymore, but definitely in the heat of the fans. World Elite, of course, the #1 popular team in China. You want to say TSM, this is TSM times 1,000.
Oh yeah, they are incredibly well known. I mean, you talked about, a while back at All-Stars, the voting for, getting people to go. The number of votes amassed by the World Elite players was, I think, surpassing any combination of other players in other regions. It was just insane. And these lineups have been quite interesting. A lot on the line going forward into this, too, because as we look at it right now in the standings, you, of course, can see that this means a lot for both teams. Edward Gaming, currently sitting in 3rd place at 21 points, have a chance, because OMG hasn't gotten any additional points from this evening, with their 0-2 loss against Young Glory. They could jump up into 1st place alone and would finish the split out that way. However, if they do lose, it gives World Elite a chance to move into, that exact same spot. They could tie Edward Gaming for 3rd place and ensure their playoff spot. But if they don't win a single game, if they don't manage to take one off of EDG, LGD still in the running. It'll force the tiebreaker runoff.
Effectively, it comes down to that World Elite may be China's favorite team, but right now, EDG is LGD's favorite team.